There are a lot of well-known celebrity friendships. Tiger Woods and Charles Barkley, for instance, used to have a super tight-knit bond. But unfortunately, their lengthy friendship of 15 years fell apart in 2016. Fans, of course, were disappointed at this. What exactly happened between them, though? Well, in this video, we'll be taking a look at the infamous Tiger Woods and Charles Barkley friendship and how it came to an end. So stay tuned. First off, Tiger Woods and Charles Barkley have a long history. Tiger Woods and Basketball Hall of Famer Charles Barkley have quite an interesting history together, ranging from being close friends in very different professions to spending decades apart. Nevertheless, despite all of their differences today, Barkley and Woods were quite good friends back in the day. They shared a close enough friendship for Woods to talk about his unique childhood with him for his book. Now, Charles was one of the most dominant power forwards in the NBA and made himself a name as the greatest NBA player who still hadn't won a championship. However, many would argue that Karl Malone, John Stockton, and Patrick Ewing are better candidates. Charles also serves as an analyst for the television program Inside the NBA, alongside other stars like Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. As for Tiger Woods, well, everybody knows that he's among the greatest golf players of all time. In fact, most golf fans consider him to be the greatest ever. His accomplishments include winning 14 major championships and 70 PGA Tour events, including tournaments. Both of these people are known for the influence they've had in their respective sports, and it must have been a shock for their fans to find out they had drifted apart. After all, everybody loves a good celebrity friendship. Not to mention, it's always a shame to see them fall apart. Next up, Tiger Woods isn't the first celebrity friend that Charles lost. Charles has always had a knack for making and then losing his celebrity friends. It's well known that he and Michael Jordan used to be very close before they had a falling out. Of course, Michael isn't the only celebrity friend that Charles lost. He used to be pretty close with Woods, but when the golfer was going through trials and tribulations when his scandals were made public, he simply ghosted Charles. Regarding the situation, Charles said that he would have understood if he was trying to get back together with his wife at that time, and she told him to get rid of all his old friends. After all, Woods had called and told him that that was the situation. He then continued by talking about how he only wished Woods had been man enough to call him and say that. Charles then said that he was absolutely disappointed that Tiger disappeared without saying anything. Now, there was a time when Woods seemed to be close with a number of NBA legends. Michael Jordan's 6-word tip for him about picking up women is still iconic to this day, but somewhere along the way, his friendships broke apart. Charles has never been one to hold his tongue. This habit of his has messed up his relationship with Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors. Plus, it also led to the Los Angeles Lakers legend Kobe Bryant cursing him out, not to mention his currently ongoing feud with Kevin Durant of the Brooklyn Nets. Now for Charles criticizing Woods in Phil Mickelson's biography. Before all of his scandals were revealed to the world, Tiger Woods had a pretty big circle of friends, which included Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. They used to regularly golf and party together, but at one point, Tiger stopped talking to a large number of his friends, including Charles. Naturally, this angered the former Phoenix Sun star, because he's as real as they come. It's hard to find a famous athlete who talks about things like Charles. That's what makes people's opinions about him so divided. As a matter of fact, Charles also cut ties with Michael Jordan, because apparently, he couldn't handle the criticism coming from his friend through his job as an NBA pundit. In the authorized biography of Phil Mickelson, written by Alan Shipnuck, Charles is quoted saying some inflammatory stuff against Tiger. He says that one of the reasons Phil had lasted so long is because he had a joyful life. On the other hand, even though Tiger won a bunch of tournament wins, there wasn't a lot of joy in it. What's more, he said that while Tiger may be the better golfer, leaving you in awe of his talent, it's not fun to be around him, and everyone around him is always uptight and afraid to say or do the wrong thing. Those are harsh words for someone who used to be such good friends with him. Finally, why Charles and Woods' friendship was doomed from the start. It might seem a bit harsh on Charles, but he doesn't exactly have a good track record keeping celebrity friendships. His fallout with Michael Jordan was because he said he wasn't sure he could do well managing the Charlotte Hornets, as he didn't have enough good people around him. Granted, Jordan's known for being petty, but the thing is, Charles simply has no filter, and it isn't always a good thing. Tiger's scandals left a bad taste in everyone's mouths, and it's not like he was faultless either. But while the former player's honesty is appreciated by many, he was perhaps a bit offensive when he demeaned Tiger's sport. Apart from saying that everyone in his world was always watching how they acted, he also implied he wasn't all that. He said that Woods always acted as though he was under siege, and said, "Gimme an effing break, you're just a golfer." golfer, dude. He's entitled to his own opinion, but that wasn't a cool thing to say. He also went on to compare him to Phil Mickelson, saying you were guaranteed to have fun with him. He mentioned that everyone around the player was always smiling and that was a huge difference. He finished off by saying he still doesn't know what happened back then. Now, celebrity friendships are hard to maintain, what with people analyzing every word and action you take and trying to turn it into fuel for gossip, but it's still hard seeing them fall apart. Now moving on to Charles Barkley revealing Tiger Woods' unheard childhood experience. First up, Tiger Woods shared his history with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley, a member of the Hall of Fame, is also well known for being a big fan of golf. As a result, he's become familiar with several of the top athletes throughout the years. His friendship with the 15-time major winner and golfing great Tiger Woods sticks out though. Their friendship can't be described as smooth as a trial, which can be seen from the fact that they don't talk anymore. But despite their relationship's up and downs, Barkley always maintained respect for Woods and his heritage. Plus, they cared about each other enough that Woods felt at ease with him, enough to discuss the specifics of his vivid youth. Charles Barkley and Woods were introduced at a party and have been friends ever since. Now, Barkley has frequently urged Woods to talk openly about his ancestry and racial identity over their lengthy friendship. Similar to this, the former NBA star even persuaded Woods to discuss his racial experiences, which he hadn't disclosed to the public, in one of his extracts from his book. Tiger Woods sat down with the Hall of Famer one Sunday afternoon and described his upbringing under a multicultural roof. Woods' mother was Asian, namely Thai, while his father was African American. Due to his parents' divergent worldviews, Woods acknowledged that he developed a comprehensive perspective of the world at a young age. What's more, the golfer acknowledged that he was raised more in the Asian way because his father was a houseworker. Coming up, what Tiger had to say about his strict household. Tiger emphasized that when you were given a specific, you had to complete it no matter what. The rules were strict, and the punishments even more so. You weren't allowed to do anything to disgrace the family, which mainly includes behavior that is usually frowned upon, such as being disrespectful to someone older than you. Asian households tend to keep their elders in high regard, and talking back to them is considered extremely bad. While talking about the rigid upbringing of an Asian family, he also explained how it was necessary to uphold the greatest standards while carefully fulfilling your obligations. What's more, he acknowledged that breaking the regulations would have serious repercussions. I'd get whacked on the butt in a second if I didn't say yes sir, yes ma'am, thank you sir, he said. Woods also talked about how his upbringing played a significant role in the development of his personality. He had a rich duality in life as a result of growing up with a strict mother and a proud father, which helped him develop into a well-rounded person at a young age. Lastly, let's take a look at his relationship with his parents. Now, Tiger did say that as long as he remembered, it had always been that way. And while the way things worked in that household may seem harsh, Kultida Woods loves her only son to the moon and back. As for Earl, Tiger himself mentioned that he had a very close relationship with his father when he was alive. Of course, the man had set his boundaries, but as the 47-year-old said so himself, his father had been his #1 motivator and supporter in his golf career. While Earl died in 2006, Kultida carried on supporting her son and can be seen in a number of events cheering him on. She's always been in the background, whereas the stories of Earl and how he helped his son become the legend he is still run deep in the world of golf. Tiger mentioned that his mother had helped a lot too, but in the end, he was still afraid of her in a way he was never afraid of his father. After all, she'd been the enforcer in the family. Still, her strictness and way of upbringing had shaped him to be the person he was, and he was proud of it. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Tiger Woods' friendship with Barkley? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.